A young nation of more than 1 billion people. The largest democracy in the world. A land of amazing diversity. Colorful and vibrant. "60 years is a very small period in the history of a nation. As the world watched, India walked the path of progress, braving challenges and obstacles to hold her head high among the nations of the world. Behind the scenes, in different corners of the country, trying to fulfill the aspirations of India and her people, there are countless persons who work synergistically to keep up the momentum. They have largely remained faceless, their accomplishments unknown or unacknowledged, but their presence is palpable. They are the Indian civil servants who helped build the nation, partnering the people in progress, acting as catalysts of change. They have time and again achieved a breakthrough, overcoming great obstacles, and made the difference. There was a time when the civil servant was a symbol of stern authority, an agent of a colonial power. There has been a paradigm shift in the perceptions regarding civil service since independence. How could the civil service remain untouched by winds of change?
पहला फर्ज आपका ये है, हमारा और आपका हर एक का, कि हिंदुस्तान की खिदमत कुछ न कुछ करें.
The Indian people are masters of their own destiny. It is the civil servants who ensure that the fabric of the largest and most vibrant democracy in the world remains intact. Free and fair elections, the lifeblood of democracy, are conducted by the Election Commission. Panchayati Raj schemes have revitalized the countryside. Technology has revolutionized the way the civil servants work. Innovative practices in e-governance have made it possible to bridge distances, reduce response time, and render the functioning of the government transparent. It is impossible to document this saga of selfless striving in a comprehensive manner. Yet, a few glimpses gleaned from different regions of our vast and varied land, showcasing innovative best practices, can provide inspiring and stimulating illustrations. For millions of Indians, the most harassing experiences in their life are related to accessing manually managed land records. The state of Karnataka was no exception till the administration decided to apply information technology to put in place a system transparent, efficient, and responsive to the needs of people. Over 20 million land records were digitized under the Bhumi project, involving over 6 million farmers covering all the talukas in the state. All handwritten land records were dispensed with.
Today, Bhumi stands not because of, let's say, a person like Rajiv Chawla, but because of these young children, and you saw many of them, who have so much of fire in their belly.
Today, there are kiosks all over the state. All a farmer has to do is to go to Bhumi kiosk, pay 15 rupees and get a printout. Lokwani, initiated in Sitapur district of Uttar Pradesh, literally the voice of the people, seeks to give people a powerful voice, making the administration more responsive and responsible. There is a phone helpline that enables citizens to keep track of their complaints without visiting the Lokvani information kiosk.
If you randomly pick up any grievance, the complainant, if you see his name, would undoubtedly be a person like Ram Dulare, Ram Khilawan, all rural names you will find there.
Officials today maintain a database of grievances and their redress, keeping track of complaints online.
हम अगर डीएम ऑफिस से आते सीतापुर तो 20 रुपया इधर से किराया, उधर से 20 रुपया किराया, 10-20 रुपया और हमारा खर्चा हो जाते हैं। तो इतना खर्चा न होने के बाद अगर लोकवाणी हम चले आए तो हमारा कुल 10 रुपया में है हमारी जो है शिकायत पहुंच गई तुरंत।
The state of Punjab has greeted the application of information technology and introduction of e-governance with an enthusiastic response. Suvidha centers, set up as single-window, user-friendly, multi-service providing outlets, have helped reduce jostling crowds in government offices. Registration of NRI marriages is an important service rendered by the Suvidha Center. This facility reduces the risk of fraud and exploitation of innocent persons. Technology can do a lot to improve governance, but there are problems that require different solutions. The census of 2001 shook the conscience of the nation by bringing to surface the glaring adverse sex ratio. Dharampuri in Tamil Nadu, till some years back, carried the stigma of having a very high infant mortality rate. What was even worse was the fact that female infanticide was rampant. The young officer in charge of the district found this situation unacceptable. She realized that the greatest challenge was to change the mindset. She thought of an innovative strategy to involve the people and unshackle their minds. These plays, written in folk idiom, enriched with song and dance, dealt with real-life situations in an evocative manner. Issues like gender bias and social ills like dowry and domestic violence could no longer be swept under the carpet. At the same time, a determined effort was made to improve the pre- and postnatal health care in the villages. Midwives and village health workers were motivated. It took some time, but a breakthrough was achieved. The infant mortality rate has reduced dramatically. Prejudice against the girl child in these villages is a thing of the past. Indian women are beginning to take charge of their lives. They are learning new skills and generating employment for themselves. Women in Kerala, especially those from the weaker sections of society, have been a hard-working lot. Their labor discounted and often overlooked. Fed up with their plight, they decided to get together and do something about it. Kudumbashri started by creating an innovative poverty index, separate for rural and urban areas, transparently identifying really needy persons in the community. Kudumbashri's success comes from its ability to reach the smallest unit of society, the family.
Kudumbashree is a huge social security mechanism by which women have not only come into their own but have been able to provide each other a huge support against distress, both financial and social.
Once resources became available, the women devised for themselves employment-generating schemes. These activities have supplemented the cash resources available to the women. Not only the individuals, but the entire community has greatly benefited through Kudumbashri. It is a strong sense of community that lends the state of Nagaland its distinct identity. Located on the eastern extremity of India, the hilly and sparsely populated state has few avenues of employment and economic enterprise. The communitization program has focused primarily on education, health, and tourism.
Communitization is privatization, but not through tenders, but in the hands of the user community. They have the real stake, so you hand over the assets, you give them the powers, and they will work wonders.
Almost 100% of government schools are now supervised by the community. Communitization has made the health workers regular and punctual. The number of patients visiting government hospitals has increased. Involvement of local population in tourism activities has been extremely satisfactory. This has not only generated employment, but also helped preserve the environment. Ecological concerns and livelihood issues remain equally urgent all over the land. The breathtaking beauty in the Himalayan region is constantly threatened by intruding modernity. The approach to the Valley of Flowers was till a few years back marred by mountains of polythene waste piled along the pilgrim route. The conservator in charge of the Nanda Devi biosphere in Uttarakhand was confronted with a difficult task.
I had to work with two different strategies in both the national park. One was to bring an end to a very strict conservation regime and attain the livelihoods while opening the park of the local communities. And in the second case, all that I had to bring was the lost pride in the people and rebuke them from within to join hands in the conservation measures.
The daunting task of cleaning all the garbage and restoring nature to its pristine glory was accomplished with the help of local villagers. However, if nature is ravaged, the retribution can be furious. Natural calamities strike suddenly, playing havoc with innocent lives. The giant wave of the tsunami that struck the eastern seaboard of India left in its wake a trail of devastating destruction. The administration in the affected areas had to work round the clock for rescue and relief.
कुछ एक villages हैं जहाँ पे आप जाओ तो you only find the ground and the coconut trees. There is no sign of any hut or any bodies.
Countless civil servants have helped the unfortunate victims gather the strands of their lives together again. Today, as one travels through territories that bore the brunt of tsunami, one is amazed what the healing touch has accomplished. The scars on the face of the land are almost gone. Houses have been built to rehabilitate those rendered without a roof over their head. These settlements have been located in areas comparatively safe and have all amenities to ensure a dignified human existence to the residents. Well-equipped hospitals have come up where none existed. It is the same story with the schools. The young ones are hardly aware of what they have lost. Natural calamities are not the only wounds inflicted on the body of the nation. There are times when man-made tragedies grievously injure innocent citizens. Countless policemen risk their lives every day. Assam police has fought an invisible enemy for years. This has not deterred them from providing an unstinting support to the victims of violence.
My father's name is Led from it was matter. My father loves me very much.
The Ashwas project, launched by Assam Police, unveils the caring human face of the men in uniform. It was these policemen who thought of organizing camps where the people could interact and get over their personal traumas. Bond as community. Psychologists counsel the disturbed individuals, providing them reassurance that they are not alone.
We started with a baseline survey to find out the impact of violence amongst women and children in Assam. We have a system of specialized training for the policemen for community and child-friendly attitude development.
Eminent folk performers and theatre artists encourage and inspire the participants. Striving constantly for a better tomorrow for the future generations, Ashwas provides scholarship to children of victims of violence. Ashwas has gone a long way towards restoring people's trust in the police and rekindling a new hope for future. A new ray of hope is also beckoning the teeming millions, hitherto helpless and despairing. Promising them a better future, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act has galvanized the impoverished and unemployed Indians. Dungarpur provides an excellent illustration of how the efficient implementation of a visionary scheme can change people's lives.
डूंगरपुर अपने आप में पिछड़ा इलाका था, आदिवासी इलाका था और 50% परिवार बीपीएल परिवार थे और एपीएल परिवारों में से भी काफ़ी हद तक ऐसे परिवार थे जिनको रोजगार की आवश्यकता थी। माइग्रेशन डूंगरपुर की मुख्य समस्या है, इसलिए इन सब बातों को फोकस में रखते हुए हमने प्रयास किया कि जन जन तक इस योजना के जो मुख्य प्रावधान है वो पहुँचे।
Health, like employment, is a basic concern of the common man. Healthcare is no longer a privilege of the affluent. Primary healthcare is considered an entitlement of the poor and the weakest sections of society. Millions of Indians remain untouched by the great strides made in the years since independence. West Bengal, one of the most densely populated states in India, with majority of people residing in villages, had to cope with the healthcare needs in the countryside. The dream of using technology to improve healthcare in the state, shared by engineers, doctors and civil servants, was soon transformed into reality. Nodes in remote rural areas were connected with super specialty hospitals in the cities. Health centers in the backward villages have been provided with equipment to utilize telemedicine. Video conferencing is widely used by doctors and their patients in remote rural areas.
When will you get the histopathology report? That is important.
Can the people in rural areas use telemedicine technology and the resources to directly speak to the doctor even for common ailments and get their treatment? And this is something that we are envisaging under the new project that we are working on.
This easily replicable model has been put in place in West Bengal. Other states will soon follow this path. Proper sanitation is as important for good health as doctors and hospitals. Pune, a historic city, has grown in recent years at an alarming rate. Over 600,000 persons dwell in slums, lacking in basic sanitation facilities. Till some years back, the situation was abominable. A young municipal commissioner decided that sanitation was more important for a city than mere beautification. Thanks to the enthusiasm of the proactive administration and the involvement of experienced NGOs, work made steady progress. The success hinged on sowing seeds of self-help. The users were glad to accept ownership and the responsibility that came with it.
Having a toilet is one of the most important ways of rebuilding self-esteem for the villagers and for the farmers, and therefore we are working on this in a mission mode.
Encouraged by the success of the project, it has been extended to the villages. Problems of all cities are similar in some ways, from improvement of sanitation to the challenges of providing efficient mass transport system. The building of the metro rail is one of the greatest success stories of the Indian Railways. The ambitious project undertaken by engineers of Indian Railways has entailed coordination of many other government departments and agencies. This massive task of the metro construction has been completed without compromising on safety, labor welfare, and causing the least amount of dislocation. The Delhi Metro matches and often surpasses the standards set by mass transport systems in foreign countries. The metro in Delhi is truly a metaphor for contemporary India, democratic, diverse, and dynamic. Connecting the center with the periphery and bridging the distance between the heartland and the frontiers has always been given priority. The national highways are the arteries of the nation. Once this ambitious project, conceived by the National Highways Authority of India, is completed, the geographical and emotional distance between the different regions will be bridged. There are some parts of the country where round-the-year connectivity can only be ensured by a rail line. The Valley of Kashmir is renowned the world over as paradise on this earth. Access to this breathtakingly beautiful tract of land has never been easy. The only highway linking it with the rest of the country gets snowbound during winters. The rail links stop at the foothills. and men and goods have to be transported across a tortuous motor road. The people of the state have long yearned for train services. The rail line project between Jammu and Baramulla promises to provide the year-round connectivity for the people of the valley. This rail line passes through very difficult terrain in a geologically fragile Himalayan region. The project undertaken and executed by the officers in the Indian Railways has been an exceptionally challenging one. This mega project will transform the life in this small town and the rest of the valley. The task of nation building in India has been accomplished due to the dedication of countless civil servants who have toiled tirelessly through decades. They have ensured that the nation marches on the path of progress. We have come a long way since those early days. Pursuit of excellence is a journey that never ends. The task of nation building can never be complete. There will always be miles to walk and mountains to climb. The best and the brightest shall never be found wanting. They will continue to strive and inspire, touching lives, transforming them, making a difference.